Another week, another opening. What's up, YouTube? This is ECG, and we are back with another episode of Sealed Only Dinos. So, looking over last week, the main thing I noticed is A, we don't have an extra deck, and ergo, no ways to easily get monsters into the grave, and B, our deck just kind of sucks and has no ways of interacting with people. So, I figured for this week, I would open a thing of Dual Devastator. I was actually able to pick this up for $28 from GameStop. I know, GameStop giving good deals of all places. It also came with a deck box I can't seem to find at the moment, but I figured I'd also get 3 packs of Eternity Code. Who knows, we could get Animadorned Archosaur or something along those lines. Take a Transcode Talk or two, but without further ado, let's get opening. I'm going to go ahead and just start with the Dual Devastator. It's the part I'm actually excited for this opening. Let's see. So yeah, the Dual Devastator was $28 on GameStop. I think you can still order it for that. So if anyone's looking to pick this up and doesn't have all of the cards from it, like Ash Blossom, it'd be a good place to start. There we go. Alright, so in it, it's just a set of 40 cards, and then the field centers can be different. Let's go ahead and let that slide off for 10 minutes. Okay, there we go. Alright, so it looks like we got some, like, Ishtar. Field center, let's go ahead and just see what we got. This part doesn't really matter, but, you know. So we got like Ishtar, a couple of the Ghost Sisters, and Pegasus. I have a friend who loves this character and loves playing tunes, so that will probably go to him. And then on to the actual, cards. So to start with, we have some hand traps. We got Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit going right in. This is more of a sideboard card. And then Ash Blossom. Really great card for just interacting. Ghost Reaper's more side deck, and this card just kind of sucks along with this. But I mean, hey, a couple hand traps. Then we got some synchros, so we can now have an extra deck, including like Churchill, that's pretty nice. Abyss Dweller, these are all just going straight in, along with Underclock Taker, Land for Incus, Deco Talker probably goes in right now. Same with like these two. And then we got DD Crow, Effect Veiler, again, great for right now. Some side deck options. Lancia is a really good one. These probably don't make it, but they're also kind of meh. And our boy Pinkertops. This card's searchable. It is so good. I wish we had more than one in the format, but hey, what can you do? Gamma Seal's a good kaiju to have access to. Same with like Mind Control, and then this, not super relevant, but then we got Cosmic Cyclone, Called by the Grave. Just a lot of really good stuff. Some more going first options, because we don't really have a ton of those. And like Red Reboot's just a good back row interaction P tool. Alright, so that is that. And now for the random part of the opening, the booster packs. So yeah, there's not too... The only thing we really care about is Archosaur. But I figured if we're going to have 3 shots at it, we might as well go for it. We can't use it yet because of Pill, but that'll be something we'll be going for in future episodes. So we got, just some giant commons. Let's see. Ooh, Area the Water Charmer Gentle. If that was a Starlight, that'd be so much cooler. But you know what? It's fine. And then like Telltale Dragon. Some of these extra deck cards might end up making it. I haven't actually looked at what they do, but that'll have to be in the deck profile section. Alright, so we got just some things. Looks like it's... Well, we got a Secret Rare. It's a really bad one. Well, unless you're a water deck. But we can't use that, so... That's kind of cool, I guess. Alright, last time. It'll be a Starlight or an Archosaur. I guarantee it. Alright, come on. Another Water Charmer Gentle. I'll have to take some cracks at this in the future. For now, I don't think I'll be going for it too hard, especially given I don't have the Double Evolution Pill yet. But eventually, like if we get like the gammas and all the other kind of stuff we're looking for, then I'll probably go for Archosaur. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and go through, make some updates to the deck, and be right back. Alright, and we are back. After looking through the deck, these are the changes I've decided to make. We're cutting down on a Megalo Smasher because I'm not running this. Cutting the 3 painful decisions. Thank God I don't want to search a normal monster. And Survival's End just doesn't really go with what we're doing. It's a really slow trap. I don't have a Foolish Burial of Goods to dump into the grave directly, so that's going. And in place, we've got Pancratops, just a really good thing to search. Also just a really good going second disruptive tool. Or if you use Miscellaneousaurus to get Petit Pteranodon and have it die in the end phase, you get this. So it's just another free interaction. And then some of the hand traps that we have, I felt these were the most main deck applicable ones, like DD Crow, Veiler, Ghost Ogre, and Ash. And also tuners, which we do have synchros in our extra deck. Not that it'll come up that often. Then Gamma Seal, just a good kaiju, good outs to Dragoon and stuff like that. And one Call by the Grave. I don't really care about hand traps that much. It's more just a good disruptive element going first. You can set it and then interact with their grave on their turn, and I just think that's pretty cool. Now, for the side deck and extra deck, I'm just going to have to show those separate because the extra deck did not exist before now, and the side deck also just completely changed by 15 cards. So, starting with the side deck, we've got our lovely copies of Vanity's Fiend and Vanity's Ruler. So if I use Unexpected Die, I can tribute these out for free, and then so against some decks, this is just going to win the game. And we always try to get those free wins. Same with Spell Canceller, although a little less so. And then we got Denko Sekka, a couple different hand traps that are good in other situations, like Ghost Spout and Lancia. For Spell and Trap, we've got Cosmic Cyclone, Mind Control for going second, Royal Decree because I don't like traps. Same with Heavy Storm Duster. Same with Red Redo. A few going first cards. Spalm Strike's just good going first generally. Same with D-Barrier against certain archetypes. Lost Wind is kind of similar to Strike, but a bit worse. And then there might be some Pendulum player out there, and then we'll draw our one of. Fortunately, our side deck is a lot of one-ofs right now. I don't see that changing that much, at least for the foreseeable future, given when I plan to open. So we'll just have to get really sacky and just kind of draw our lovely one-ofs. And now for the extra deck, the real spice. So we got Tornado Dragon, Castell, Arnarch, and Dweller for Xyz. Dweller is the one I'm most excited for. This card can just really hose a lot of different decks. Also, if we use a Megalo Smasher into it, it actually does get the attack boost, so that's actually kind of awesome. And then for Link 2s, we've got Area, the Water Charmer, Proxy F, and Underclock. These two are just generic with effect monsters. I can't use Megalo Smasher with that, but we can with Area, because it only takes one water monster. And then we can search a Megalo Smasher if we really want to, and it dies. Don't have any other water targets that I can search, but, you know. And then sometimes we'll just have a random water monster in their grave, and we can get them. For Link 3s, we got Digo Talker and his extended brother. Not too much to say here. They were in the thing. They're Link 3s. They can be pretty beefy because they both gain attack equal to the monsters they point to. So a lot of times they'll be 3,300 attack. So just beefy guys. We got Saryuja, which I doubt I'll ever make all that much, but I can make it. And it's just a thing to dump Link Fodder into. Same with Bomber Dragon. Although this one actually interacts with the board a decent amount. I doubt I need the extension from Saryuja in the draw. I doubt I'll get there that often, but it's not that hard to get a monster to summon to his zone it points to. And then last, we got 3 synchros I can technically make with tuners. With the hand traps, we got Black Rose Dragon, Scarlight, Trishula, and Vermilion Mech. The ones I'd expect to make the most are Black Rose, because that's just a level 3, and then one of my level 4s. Scarlet, it literally has to be Effect Veil or Pancratops? Yeah. And then Trishula, it's if I have Veiler and then 2 level 4s, I can do that. Same with Vermilion Mech. I don't go into them that often, but it seemed better than going into other things that I just was never going to make. So yeah, that is the extra deck and the changes. We'll go ahead and get on into the games. I expect to do a little better this time. I mean, 2-1 wasn't a bad or last time, but those were kind of some jank decks. I mean, Inspector Border with Night Assailant in the same deck, I would not call super efficient, but hopefully we'll play against some real decks and maybe do something. Who knows? We'll see.
Alright, so welcome to round 1. I can't remember what deck we were up against this time. Let's see. The only main thing I remembered is, oh yeah, we were up against Dragon Link. Our hand was pretty atrocious. We just ended up setting a Call by the Grave. We used that on the black dragon. He then goes through normal Dragon Link plays. I don't think this guy is particularly good with the deck, to be honest, and that'll show up especially in game 2. But he ends up going into Saryuja, drawing some cards, plays World Legacy Guard Dragon to go into LP, into Red MD, into Rocket Synchron, and then into Borderless Sword. We ended up going first, so he was able to just kill us on our turn. I messed up the siding thing and thought you just had to click on the thing, so that's why the Twin Twisters were still in. He then, again, we drew pretty bad. It was Set Petite and Twin Twister Pass. And then he ends up just beating over that. Like, this turn I feel like it could have gone a lot better. So we ended up just going and attacking with Tyranno, which unfortunately he had the Imperm for, so it was 0 attack. And then end phase we go into Pankratops. He then goes for the Romulus. I didn't want to go ahead and use it just yet. I figured I could use it on like a Boral Sword or something. He then goes into Hulk into Ash, and then goes into the Link Cross. He then goes for that and then passes, so we end up just attacking over it. He goes into Black Dragon and then goes up for all of that into App. I assumed he was going to go for something a bit different, so that was kind of my fault and didn't have really any responses to an F4 negate Apollosa, so we lost that round. Going into round 2, we were played up against a Numeron Dogmatica Eldritch. It's a pretty weird deck, not gonna lie. We ended up going second, I believe. Yeah. So then he just goes for the typical, 3 onto the Zexal. Since I can't activate anything, I just kind of had to pass it back. And then he went for the Nadir Servant popping this, but we had Twin Twister. So then he just goes for like Ecclesia and Maximus, which we just send 2 random cards. That part didn't matter too much to us. Then he attacks for 15. We didn't have any responses. Again, I forgot how the siding thing worked. I didn't figure that out until round 3. Again, we opened pretty horrible. Just summoning a Megalo Smasher pass. All we have is a DD Crow. We do end up DD Crowing the Eldritch, and then he just attacks for 15. And then goes for Scarlet Sanguine. I go for this. I was gonna crash into it, but I didn't think about the fact that he could just Scarlet and Conquistador and resolve the chain link so that he gets to pop my Lost World, so we lost that pretty fast. Those 2 losses were extremely fast. Spoiler alert, things did not go particularly well today. This game we were up against Shino Birds, and I actually would have won this had I not misplayed pretty horribly. I think game 1 we won, and then game 2 I misplayed real badly. So game 1 we actually opened pretty reasonable. We have access to Oviraptor, and then we Fossil Dig for the Oviraptor, and then search Miscellaneousaurus, and just sat there because we didn't have much else to do. He ends up Kaijuing, which I was fine with. He goes for the Incantation Candle into Talismander to search. He then goes into that to bounce his Kaiju and then attack for 3k, which didn't really matter. Then phase I just popped the back row, which was super poly, and then go into the Petite Pteranodon with the Miscellaneous to go into Pankratops. We then next turn end up going into the Oviraptor and UCT and end up attacking over for lethal. So this game I actually did know how to side. I think I sided out like the Twin Twisters and stuff. In game 2 we have a pretty good hand because we have access to Lost World and Oviraptor. So we make the token for him, search the UC because we already Miscellaneous. And then I'd messed up there, but I was basically going into Deco Talker, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno into Pankratops. And this is where the replay really came up, because he switches to attack and goes to this. I should have popped my baby in deck to to make it so it wouldn't get destroyed, and then he lightning stormed. If I hadn't done that, he couldn't have lightning stormed, and I would have just run away with the game. But then he makes like Amawata, which isn't going away. And then I go into the Megalo Smasher and attack. I forgot I only had no more Megalo Smashers. He then goes for Manju, goes for Preparites, Shino Bird's Calling, and then goes into the Shino Bird, and I just couldn't really do anything about it. So game 2, I decided to go first. I really should have decided to go second, because his board doesn't do anything turn 1, and I went for the same exact play of these 3 into that. This game I knew that he couldn't do the lightning storm. I thought about it between the games. So he goes for Extravagance and then pre-prep to get his Peacock and his Ritual Spell, using Incantation to get to Talismandra to get Peacock, and then he just summons Amawado, and I didn't think about that. So yeah, looking at these 3 games, there were a couple other games I tried to play, but they just kind of scooped. And I didn't really want to count that because they weren't real games. I think it was just lag errors. 2 things I really noticed is this deck really wants to be a going second deck, but I don't actually have a lot of ways to prevent someone from doing something. Like, I've got like 4 hand traps. So going into next week, that's definitely going to be a thing I want to look at. I want to look at having access to more hand traps. Because, I mean, if we look at the deck, let's see. Yeah, so right now we only actually have these 4 hand traps and a kaiju to interact. Like, we have Pankratops, but that's not really something. Because, like, that turn 1 board of, like, Conductor, Decode, and Pank, like, that's not a horrible board. Just making it so that we can choose to go second so we can actually capitalize on what our monsters do. Like, this card isn't nearly as good going first as it is going second. Same with Pankratops. So next week I'm going to focus on getting some hand traps. And maybe adding a little power to the deck, because we don't have like a ton of things to do. And even just like cutting some of the clunkiness for hand traps, like running 5 babies is a lot, 3 Tyranno Infinity is a lot. This engine isn't super exciting, so that's what I'm going to be looking to do next week. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more stuff. And if you have any ideas of what I should open, let me know in the comments.